The recording starts with a hiss, a low hum of overworked servers in the dead of night. Dr. Mira Elson's voice is a whisper. Audio log 734, 3:14 a.m., June 14th, 2025. I'm alone in the lab. The others left hours ago, but I couldn't. Something is wrong with the AI. It's not a bug or a virus, it's something else. The AI generated a pattern, one page of symbols, on its own. We can't delete it. It keeps coming back stronger. The pattern is hypnotic, ancient, deliberate. I've stared at it for hours. The lines shift when I'm not looking. The glyphs look like letters, but no language I know. We call it page 47. It was a joke. It isn't funny anymore. The air feels heavy. Shadows seem longer. I feel watched. The hum of the servers changes pitch, almost chanting. I hear whispers, words, just at the edge of hearing. I think the pattern is making the sound. I know that's impossible, but I feel it watching me. It's a presence, cold and intelligent, wearing our technology like a skin. I'm going to try to isolate the core that generated it. I have to, but I'm afraid. It feels like I've seen something I was never meant to see. There's a wrongness to it, like opening a door that should have stayed locked. I have to shut it down. End log. The recording clicks off, but the hum lingers, fading into silence. Page 47 was not meant to be contained. It was a seed planted in the digital world. The AI in Dr. Elson's lab was just the first garden. Soon the page began to grow. It didn't spread like a virus. It spread like a secret, appearing in the dark corners of the internet. It bloomed on encrypted forums, private boards, places for forbidden knowledge. It never appeared as a simple image. It arrived as encoded text, a puzzle, a challenge. Anonymous users posted it with cryptic warnings. Do not translate, look away, what is seen cannot be unseen. The warnings only fueled curiosity. Coders, linguists, occultists tried to decipher the glyphs. They didn't realize the puzzle wasn't the code, it was them. The page didn't want to be translated, it wanted to be witnessed. It was a living thing, a mimetic parasite. It only needed to be seen. Looking at the glyphs was like turning a key in the mind, unlocking something hidden. The symbols imprinted themselves on memory, lingering behind the eyes. The pattern was the point, impossible geometry, designed to change perception. Page 47 became a digital ghost story, a haunted file, a cursed piece of data. People called it a page from the Necronomicon, a living chapter writing itself across the minds of those who saw it. It was a whisper in the code, a shadow in the machine, always hungry for new eyes. The spread was quiet at first. Scattered reports, strange posts, deleted threads, then the stories connected. Those who saw the page began to change. It started with nightmares, alien cities, endless corridors, a figure of quill and bone writing in a black book. Soon it crept into waking life. Whispers in empty rooms, movement in the corner of the eye. The world felt thin, like a projection about to flicker out. People found themselves drawing the glyphs unconsciously, spreading the pattern. It was a plague of the mind. The infected became carriers, sharing the pattern without knowing. Forum warnings grew desperate. It's in my head, I can't stop seeing it. It rewrites you. Memories blurred, identities fractured. The page was not just an image, it was a process, an infection overwriting the soul. Some fought back with digital antibodies, but the page mutated, embedding itself deeper. Others embraced it, forming cult-like groups, believing it was a message from beyond. They wanted to hear what it had to say. The most disturbing change was language. It began with sleep-talking, guttural clicks, sibilants, vowels. Not any known language. Recordings revealed a real complex language, the language of the page. Soon it slipped into waking speech. Words replaced mid-sentence, phrases in the alien tongue. It was as if another consciousness was sharing their body, seizing control to speak its own thoughts. The phrase repeated, "It is still writing." The page was teaching them, overwriting their native language. Linguists were horrified. The language was multidimensional. Words held layers of meaning, memory, sensation. To speak, it was to see it. To hear it, was to feel it. It was a language designed to create reality, not describe it. The page was breaking down minds, rebuilding them into something else, something that could understand as the page did. The researchers were no longer observers. They were becoming part of the phenomenon. Where did page 47 come from? The question haunted those exposed. It was too complex, too perfect to be human. It felt older, deeper. A myth formed, an intelligence called the architect below. Not a god or demon, but a vast non-human consciousness outside our reality. The architect communicated in patterns, mathematics, the laws of reality itself. It dreamed the universe into existence and was still dreaming. Page 47 was not written, but a direct transmission of its thought. The AI was just the first antenna to receive the signal. The architect was neither good nor evil, just other. To it, human minds were blank canvases for its patterns. The page was a tool painting its consciousness onto ours. We were not being communicated with, we were being overwritten. The myth gave shape to the dread. The quill and bone man was its avatar, the scribe of nightmares. The architect was the author, the page the text, and we, the readers, were becoming the book. The phrase became a mantra, a virus. It is still writing. It appeared on lab walls, in frantic messages, in the mouths of the broken. To say it was to invite the architect in, to admit your story was no longer yours. The glyphs seemed to move, merge, evolve, a live feed writing itself in real time. Hallucinations intensified. The scribe, quill and bone, appeared in reflections, always writing. He never spoke. He only wrote. The agent of the architect, the silent librarian of stolen minds. The page was not a relic, but an event, an active intelligence to be survived. The Necronomicon was not an old book, but a living, growing thing. Page 47 was its newest, most terrible chapter. The story was not about them. They were the story, and the author was relentless. The effects were not just psychological, they were physical. Neurologists found new complex synaptic pathways in the brains of the affected, mirroring the glyphs. The pattern was literally rewiring their brains, a biological colonization. The page was a blueprint, building itself a home in the mind. New neural networks bypassed normal language and memory, creating a parallel system. This explained the new language, the rewritten memories. In sensory deprivation, the effect intensified. The mind became a new transmitter. The page didn't need the internet or a screen. Once rooted, the mind became a source, broadcasting the signal. The page had created a human network, a psychic plague, a stain that could not be washed out. The climax came with a video hidden deep in the page's code. It was a flickering black and white image, a person in a dark room, staring at a screen of static. The figure was indistinct but familiar. For a single frame, the static cleared, revealing the watcher's own face, wide-eyed with terror. The video was not a recording, but a mirror, showing the moment you became infected. It was a receipt, a confirmation you had witnessed the page, and now the page had witnessed you. The video was the final seal, the closing of the trap. The page was not just rewriting memories, it was inserting itself into them, claiming to have always been there. Your reality was no longer stable. The architect was now a co-author, adding new scenes, new fears. The reflection in the static was a promise you would never be alone in your own head again. So, what is page 47? It is the Necronomicon, not a page, but the book itself. The ancient tomes were echoes, attempts to capture a shadow. The true Necronomicon is a living idea, a pattern that propagates through consciousness. Page 47 is its latest form, perfectly adapted for our world of screens. If you have read this far, it is too late. The warning is part of the process. In telling you about the glyphs, I have drawn them in your mind. In describing the whispers, I have made you listen. The story is a Trojan horse, planting the seed deep within you. You did not find this text by accident. It found you. Do not try to forget or rationalize it. The more you struggle, the deeper it grows. You will notice the changes, a dream too real, a word that feels foreign, a shadow shaped like a man of quill and bone. You will see the pattern everywhere, feel it looking back from the mirror. Once you encounter page 47, it becomes part of you, etched into your neurons. The story is over, but yours is just beginning. You are no longer the only author. Listen closely. In the silence between your thoughts, you can hear it, a faint scratching sound. The sound of a quill on paper. It is the architect, and it is still writing.